Alrighty, happy weekend, folks. Good morning. I've been back at the gym. My numbers are definitely a little down compared to what they were pre-illness in terms of like my repetitions. What I used to be able to hit for like 8, I'm down to like 5 or 6. Um, but what I will say is two things. I did bump up my total calories by about 100 to 120. Um, or like ballpark going from like probably like 2250 to about 2400. Um, and my energy levels are better. So it took me overall like less time in the gym. I was more fatigued. I was less fatigued between sets. My mental clarity is better. And that in about the time that I've made this calorie adjustment, I've dropped another 2 pounds at least this week. Joys of weight loss, right? You end up, your weight can fluctuate anywhere between 1 to 2 pounds or one to 2% on any given week. So there is that as an issue. Big stretch. So, but overall, bumping up the calories makes me feel better. Makes me perform more at the gym. I'm generally more idly active. They kind of call it the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So, but yeah, I'm generally feeling better there. So today, we're just gonna retest some 1 RMs. We'll take about maybe 10 to 12 minutes. Um, we'll see how long it takes us, but we've got, in terms of movements we want to test over the next 1 to 2 workouts or so, considering I am a little sore from recent workouts, is the single arm bench press, single arm military press, single arm row, split squats, bridges, deadlifts, and curl ups. So it's not a lot of testing to do, but it's still a decent amount. What do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we might just, this shouldn't take too long to figure out since I have a rough idea and like I only have so much weight that I can generally lift at home. So, alrighty, so we can start with the thought. Okay, so I am looking to get like about a 10 rep max idea, um, just so that I can kind of work in that 8 to 12 rep range for the next couple of workouts, couple of weeks, whatever. So we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna grab this 35 and we'll actually start sitting. Whoa. So a little less leg drive when you're sitting. So 12 on the right arm. We'll take about a minute or so, retest the left arm. I know my left arm's weaker, it's definitely the less stable side. So if I get about 10 to 12, if I get about 10, I might retest the left arm with 30 instead of 35, just to have a more kind of accurate number, especially since I am trying to catch my left side up to the right side, um, from a general stability perspective. Okay, we're gonna give myself like a minute before I do the next side. But yeah, I was pretty happy seeing like, hey, I stepped on the scale and that despite me eating more, um, I was feeling better. There was a little bit of a maybe unhealthy, like mentally unhealthy thing as I was like figuring it out. Alright, 12 is apparently a good number for that. Where I basically added an extra half cup of rice and a tablespoon of oil to my daily meals. So the what's the word? The tablespoon of oil, I'm like, okay, this is fine, but a tablespoon of oil across 7 meals is essentially a half cup, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm adding a half a cup of oil, olive oil, sure, to my chicken at the start of the week. Like, I understand that it's like a tablespoon of oil per meal or per dinner, but man, like a half a cup seems like a lot. But all in all, like, it increased my total fats, so I feel like my hormones are kind of on a better level for myself compared to where they had been at the lower calorie level. I'm sleeping better. Like I said, there's just been a lot of positives, including some weight loss. So if you feel like you're in a relative stall, and whether it's like your physical energy or your mental or emotional energy is just not where you would like it to be at, try maybe adding about 100 or so calories to your diet for a week, maybe 2, and just see like what happens to the scale, what happens to your general feeling. So we're gonna move on to bench press, and admittedly, like I said, I've got some generalized fatigue, but these are all approximates anyways. Okay. So apparently 45 might be my number for single arm bench press. Out of curiosity, let's try the 70 pounder here in a minute. So the thought is, if 35 is my 10 to 12 rep max, that if I do 35 pounds for 3 sets, I might hit 12, 10, and 8, which is within that like hypertrophy range. If I go to 30 pounds or 40 pounds, like if 45 ends up being my number for bench press, and I can hit 3 sets of 12, or like 2 sets of 12, a set of 10, right? I'm still in that hypertrophy range. It gives me something to kind of chase after. So I might end up like journaling a little more in terms of what my current progressions are and all that. So just gives me more kind of a little more hypertrophy, especially as I am heading into more of my strength phase right now, and some correctives because it is a lot of single body part work. Okay, so nope. 45 it is. Alrighty. Let's try the single arm row. And again, we're shooting for 10 to 12 reps, so we'll see if I'm at 45 or 70. I do have the Bowflex weights over there, but again, we're working with general approximations, so I'm not too concerned about being like super specific. Gotta maybe like snuck out 2 to 3 more reps, but again, we're working with approximations. So, and just because I hit, the 10 to 12 on my right arm doesn't mean I'm gonna hit the same thing on my left arm. When it comes to the push-ups, dips, and eventually like pull-ups, I might add in the weighted vest again. It's just the whole issue of like taking it on, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off in between sets. And I know that these over-the-door pull-up bars do have a weight maximum, so maybe not trying to find out what that is. But that as I, knowing that I can handle about 190 pounds, that if I lose 10 pounds, I can put on the vest with 10 pounds on it. That kind of thought. So, we'll see how it goes. All right. We might have enough time to test, basically finish testing this, maybe one more lift, and we can save the remaining stuff for next time, and maybe we'll test like the push-ups and pull-ups, or push-ups and dips with the weighted vest on. Okay, so that feels like a good number. But flip side, okay, let's say I hit 3 sets of 12 on everything up to 70 pounds. Sure, I might be able to switch over to the sandbag for some like one-armed rows. I don't think that's really feasible. But what we can do is probably go from sets of 12 to sets of 15, so on and so forth, or shorten the rest breaks. So there's alternative growth paths, and I know it's something I've been having this discussion of like, okay, what's my next goal after I'm done with my current goals, because that time was approaching for me. All right, so we're gonna do some single leg deadlifts. Oh shit. So 70 might be my number there again, just because you can see the progressive balance difficulty as I kept going. So yeah, I could probably progress up to the sandbags for that, but I'm in no particular rush. That being said, got one hell of a, that might have been the best feeling deadlift on my left side, single leg deadlift that I've done in ages. So still working on my deadlift technique, and I saw basically a thing where it's like, basically you're trying to get your mid back away from the bar, and that felt, so I did that on this set, and I felt a lot better in terms of like setup and lift. So classically I would come down here, and then I would try and like set my shoulders, puff my chest up, and even that was starting to cause like that familiar pinching versus, okay, I'm here, got my hands on the bar, all right, I kind of let my shoulder blades spread apart, get my chest away from it.
screaming. Good enough. So, again, that felt really good on that right side. All right, so next time the plan is testing split squats, single leg bridges, maybe push-ups and dips. Alrighty, don't forget to retest yourself every now and again to see like how strong have I actually gotten, how much more like comfortable is this weight compared to what I used to feel, those kinds of things. So if you did what I did, great. If you did your own thing, great. If you're just starting, looking for ideas, motivation, our community to support you is what we're here to do. Help each other be a little better every day. So good job today. Keep working hard. We'll see you next time.